deep-seated hatred she felt allowed her to maintain her final bit of consciousness. She struggled to open her mouth to breathe and endured the heart-wrenching pain as she placed a trembling hand on her chest. With incredible effort, she made a strange gesture and muttered an ancient rite. In all realms of the 9 celestial heavens and 10,000 terrestrial worlds, I am willing to sacrifice my entire body's blood essence to the spirit of all. Luna had no idea if her posture was right or not, much less whether this method she had stumbled upon before could be effective. But this was her last hope. As long as there was someone who could avenge her family, she was willing to pay any price. Sometime later, Luna opened her eyes and saw darkness. In her mind, she still remembered the fear and anxiety on her face when they all died together, as well as the sadness and anxiety of her teammates. No matter what, they had all died together with her due to Marine guards, so the remaining soldiers and generals would definitely not be a match for her teammates. Where is this place? Luna listened attentively to the sounds around her. However, there was a deathly silence in her ears. A small flame lit up in the darkness. Luna had raised a fist-sized fireball and lit up the surroundings. She was standing on a white platform. At the edge of the platform stood 9 huge golden pillars. 9 pitch-black chains hung down from the endless darkness at the top of the pillars, locking a huge bronze coffin in mid-air. Upon closer inspection, there seemed to be some vague lines flashing on the chain. It was too strange. It looked like this was the tomb of an evil figure. Luna raised the fireball in her hand and looked around at the walls that were covered with magical runes. She was trying to find a way to leave. Without a sound, a small black shadow moved away from the walls and approached her slowly. The fireball in Luna's hand elongated and transformed, rapidly changing into a short, fiery red blade that was less than a foot long. The name of this weapon? Burning Heaven. The weapon she was most familiar with was formed with her own fire spirit energy. A few steps away from Luna, the black shadow stopped and raised its head to look at her. It turned out to be a small black beast. Its 4 paws appeared to be padded by golden flames, and the end of its tail had a golden flame flickering from the tip. The rest of the beast's body was entirely black. Even the vertical pupils of its eyes were pitch black. Luna was staring at a golden-flamed, black-winged tiger. She thought back to what she knew of the ranking of beasts. The black tiger was considered a level 5 strange beast, able to control fire, able to fly, a developed intelligence. It would also carry out master-servant contracts. A series of words appeared in Luna's mind. Only then did she realize that there seemed to be a lot of things in her mind that did not belong to her. There were 16 years of an unfamiliar girl's life. The black tiger stared at Luna, not moving at all. She could sense that it meant no harm, so she smiled and squatted down to extend her hand. The black tiger hesitated for a moment before it slowly walked over in a regal manner. It was as if a noble god had stepped down from the throne and descended to approach his subjects. Hello, I'm Luna. She extended her palm, using the attitude of someone she had just met to formally greet the black tiger. The black tiger seemed to be satisfied with her attitude, and so it raised a paw and pressed it onto Luna's palm. A sharp claw emerged from the pad and lightly pierced through Luna's skin. A round drop of red blood oozed out and was instantly absorbed by the black tiger's claws. A consciousness appeared in Luna's mind, and she instantly understood that the black tiger had actually taken the initiative to form a master-servant contract with her. Without waiting for her to finish her surprised thoughts, the black tiger suddenly pounced forward. It grew in size, expanding up until it carried Luna on its back. It spread its huge black wings, as it flew forward. Luna tightly held onto its neck as she was carried out of the darkness. She had been unable to find the exit with the fireball, but the black tiger had just flown out. A formless membrane seemed to have been torn apart as she saw the blue sky and white clouds ahead of her. Flying high in the sky, Luna's taut heartstrings relaxed. She hugged the black tiger's neck and said loudly, "Thank you." The black tiger was also pondering what had just happened. If this girl's fireball hadn't suddenly appeared, he didn't know how long he would have stayed in that strange tomb. He didn't know what terrifying things he would have encountered. He circled high up in the sky and then flew downwards. At the same time, a clear and cold male voice sounded in Luna's mind. "Do not mention the huge coffin in front of you." Luna tried to imitate the method of the black tiger and used her consciousness to say in her mind, "I understand. How should I address you? What is your name?" When they were about to land on the ground, the black tiger finally replied with a deep voice. "My name is Toro." When its gigantic black wings were put away, the black tiger instantly shrank in size. From a 15-foot-long tiger, it had turned into a young tiger, only as long as a forearm. She bent down to pick up the black tiger and gently caressed its head, letting it purr and close its eyes with contentment. Luna heard the sound of shuffling footsteps of a crowd approaching, but she didn't turn around. "Luna?" A surprised female voice rang out. Now that she heard her name being called, she slowly turned around to look. A group of guards escorted a man and a woman as they walked towards her. In the crowd, she spotted a young girl in jade green clothes. She had a petite figure, and her round face had a pair of large eyes. Although she wouldn't be considered a beauty, her face was full of innocence. Luna's eyes narrowed. It was Mia Williams, her cousin. At this moment, Mia's face was filled with astonishment, even with some guilt and fear. Luna naturally knew why she had such an expression. Luna was the genius and original owner of the profound bead, and Mia had sucked in this bead while kicking Luna off the cliff. This act had caused the young genius girl's limbs to shatter and her skin to become badly mangled. A profound bead was an important part of life to manifestors in this world. Manifestors had been absorbing profound chi, a soul energy, since young, purifying profound strength to train their body and soul. When the time was right, they would carry out the awakening ceremony and open the profound orifice. Then, they would choose the appropriate spirit to nurture this pearl-like bead. After condensing a profound bead, it could display different types of effects. To manifestors, losing the profound bead not only meant losing their special abilities, but also meant losing their purest, profound strength. The manifestor's body and soul would severely degrade to not much better than that of an ordinary person. Previously, Mia had told the original owner of the profound bead that her parents had been killed because of her father's scheme. The original owner was full of resentment before he died. He was willing to sacrifice his own blood and soul to beg someone to avenge their family of 3. It was precisely because of this that Luna had been given the chance to be reborn in this world. Mia felt fear in her heart. She had already kicked Luna off the cliff. This garnet mountain cliff was hundreds of thousands of feet high, so no matter who fell, they wouldn't be able to stay alive. Now, Luna was standing in front of her, dressed neatly, with no signs of injury, and of a fair complexion. This was not normal. Mia was afraid that Luna would reveal the matter of her absorbing the profound bead. This was a crime that was included in the list of evil profound crimes on the Himogea continent, and was already banned by the Imperial Palace and the secluded sect. Thinking quickly, Mia immediately took the initiative to ask, "Sister? Is it my sister, Luna?" Before Luna could reply, Mia took a few steps forward, tears streaming down her face. "My dear sister, Luna, I am overjoyed that you're still alive. Just now you fell off the cliff and I thought you..." I was so heartbroken." Luna observed her cousin's performance with a smile that wasn't a smile. After watching Mia cry her fake tears, she finally said, "Thank you for your concern, Mia. I have always been a tough person. I won't die that easily." Luna considered exposing Mia's ability to absorb the profound bead, but gave up in the end. Mia usually had a very good image. Even if she were to say it out loud, without any evidence, it would be very difficult for her to convince others. She decided to keep this information until the most crucial moment, where it could have a greater effect. "All right, Luna, this matter can't be blamed on Mia. Don't be angry." The man who was escorted by the guards walked over with a frown, looking at Luna with a disapproving expression. He was not even 20 years old. He wore a purple and gold crown made of silk, and a dark purple robe made of linen. He was tall and handsome, with an elegant demeanor. Luna's eyes flashed in recognition. She was facing the fiancé of the profound bead's original owner, the royal prince, known to her as Henry Harper. He had been her fiancé in her previous life. "Luna, please, forgive me. I won't dare do it again." Hearing Henry's words, Mia's crying became even louder. She even stretched out her hands in an attempt to hug Luna. Luna moved slightly, and Mia, who missed, looked at Henry with her eyes wide open, feeling wronged. "Luna, Mia thought you really died. She was heartbroken and cried for a long time." Henry's tone carried a hint of reproach, as if he felt that Luna was being too cold and unenthusiastic with her cousin, who cared so much about her. Luna thought back to when she first looked back and saw them approaching, with Mia snuggled up to him as she walked over. Such a posture did not resemble that of a simple brother-in-law and his sister-in-law. The corner of Luna's mouth curled up slightly, revealing an indifferent smile. "Really? It's been hard on you, Prince Harper?" His fiancée had fallen off the cliff and appeared again, and his first words were not about her health, but that she wasn't gentle enough for her sister, who had always been safe and sound. He was dog meat to her, and her cousin no better. For a man like this, it was better to chop him up and feed him to the dogs. With these words, Luna turned around and prepared to leave. Luna recalled that the reason Toro chose to land here was probably because this place was very close to the Williams family's current location. Even though she didn't want to make a fuss about it, others might not be willing to let her go, but she would go to her family. Just as Luna turned to leave, she heard Mia cry out in surprise. "A golden-flamed, black-winged tiger? So cute." Episode 2. A refusal to apologize. The moment the tears on Mia's face were gently wiped away by Henry, she had seen the small black beast in Luna's arms. Its paws and tail were covered in golden flames. A pair of tiny black wings were folded on its sides. Luna gently stroked the black tiger cub's fur with its eyes closed, making it look docile and cute. It was a golden-flamed black-winged tiger, a level 5 strange beast. It could control fire, it could fly, and it would become extremely powerful when it grew up. Furthermore, the golden-flamed black-winged tiger's intelligence had been awakened early, so it was easy for them to communicate with humans. Even amongst the manifestation families of the larger families, manifestors with high-level strange beasts were rare. Normally, even a level 3 strange beast would attract a lot of attention, let alone a level 5 strange beast. Not only had Luna not died, she had also caught such a rare strange beast. Mia ignored Henry beside her and ran towards Luna with a face full of surprise and wonder. Her eyes were fixed on the black tiger, and she stretched out her beautiful white hands to hug it. Pow! Luna slapped her hands without restraint, knocking Mia's hands away. Red marks appeared on the back of her white hands. Mia's eyes, which were still red, immediately turned even redder, with tears rolling down her face. She forced herself not to fall over. "Luna, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any harm. I found it too cute and wanted to hug it." Luna snorted, too lazy to bother with her. No matter what she did, she was not generous or reasonable. The original owner had already died at her hand, so Mia probably wouldn't let Luna off as the one who had taken over. Luna was a vindictive person as well, and would never let Mia off. As far as Luna was concerned, as long as she found the opportunity to kill Mia in the future, that was enough. Luna was about to leave when a sullen male voice behind her said, "Luna, is that how you treat your sister? Mia only wants to hug that young beast. She wasn't trying to hug you." Henry's eyebrows frowned, his face full of disapproval. "Even if you don't want to hug her, you don't need to hit her." With that, Henry took Mia's hand and gently caressed the red marks on the back of her hands. "Look at how badly they've gotten scratched." Luna turned her head to look at the couple, feeling like she wanted to puke. Mia sobbed. "Henry, don't say that about her. My hands are fine. They don't hurt at all." Henry said unhappily, "They are already red. How can they not hurt?" He turned to Luna, saying, "Luna, are you sure you don't want to say anything?" Luna took a deep breath and asked with a gentle voice, "Prince Harper, what do you want me to say?" She would like to hear the prince's great opinion. Henry let out a sigh of relief when he saw Luna return to her familiar ways. To tell the truth, when he saw that familiar face with a cold and mocking expression, his heart tightened for some reason, as if something bad was about to happen. Luna had always been extremely arrogant, but she had been nothing but gentle and obedient in front of him. From her eyes, Henry could see her undisguised admiration and expectation. He had seen many of these looks. At least half of the ladies in Great Falls looked at him with this gaze. Luna, however, was different. She was Henry's fiancée, and more importantly, she was Oliver Williams' daughter, a well-known young genius in the Alexander Empire. With such a person as Luna showing such admiration and respect for him, Henry was in a very good mood. Whenever he had left Luna earlier, the nervousness and helplessness that appeared on Luna's beautiful face made him feel a hidden sense of accomplishment. Now, though, while Luna's face was still the same as before, her eyes were icy cold. There was even a faint hint of ridicule at the corner of her mouth. Suddenly, Henry felt that Luna was a stranger. This Luna made Henry feel an inexplicable sense of guilt. But at the same time, there was also an indescribable sense of anger. Although Luna's eyes were cold, her tone of voice had returned to its former gentleness. Henry suddenly had a bit of confidence in his heart, and that bit of sullenness had started to inflate. "Say what?" Henry's voice was raised a few times. "Of course, you must apologize to Mia." Apologize? A sense of sadness arose in Luna's heart. Although Luna was a genius, she was still only a 16-year-old girl. Even though her parents had just passed away last year, here she was already plotted against by her cousin, who she had doted on as a younger sister. This was just so pitiful. If she hadn't died and returned to see her fiancé protecting her cousin in every way, even scolding her for such a small matter, how would she be expected to feel? From the original owner's memories, Luna could feel her sincere love and care for Henry and her cousin Mia. But now, the two people who were the closest people to her in this world were hooked up together. Mia leaned her head against Henry's chest and sobbed. He held her head and looked at her impatiently, as if they were a perfect couple. Luna, on the other hand, was an outsider. Luna took a step forward with a smile and asked softly, "Mia, do you like my golden-flamed, black-winged tiger?" Mia raised her head and looked at Luna with her tear-filled eyes. She looked as innocent as a fawn, and it was the same innocent expression on her face when she asked Luna for something all these years. "Yes, I do like it. However, it is yours. I just want to hug it, Luna, so don't be angry with me, okay?" Henry looked down at Mia with a gentle gaze. "Mia, what are you thinking? You're so sensible and cute. Why would Luna be angry with you?" He put his arm around Mia's shoulders, looking up at Luna, and quickly raised his hand. "Luna, you're going to be the wife of Prince Henry, and you should be a model for everything you say and do. The brotherly respect and the deep sisterly affection are noble qualities that the wife of a prince should have. Don't ruin the relationship between the two of you just because of a strange beast. it will affect your reputation. His position as Prince Henry was the most effective method he had to deal with Luna. As long as she heard these words, the proud and talented girl would immediately retract her edges and turn into a pool of gentle spring water. Luna smiled. Henry really thought of himself as someone who was very popular. Did he think that she was still that girl who was infatuated with him? Henry saw her expression and frowned. Mia is your sister. She was crying so hard because of your accident. Now she just wants to hug your beast. How can you do anything to her? Don't even mention hugging. If she had wanted a black tiger, you should have given it to her more generously. Henry looked at Luna with a cold expression. Did this woman think she was still at her father's? Luna saw that it was foolish of him to still be unable to see the situation clearly. Her slender fingers gently caressed the black tiger's dark fur, asking softly, Mia, do you want this golden-flamed black-winged tiger? No, no. Mia seemed to be frightened as she raised her head and waved her hands. I just feel that it's so cute that I want to hug it. She lowered her head again, her cheeks blushing red. I know that it's yours. Level 5 strange beasts are very rare. I'm just envious of you. Henry gently patted the back of her hand. Isn't what is hers also yours? Is there a need to be so formal? Luna couldn't help but sneer when she heard that Henry had given all of his wealth to Mia. Mia shook her head. No, how can it be? A level 5 strange beast is so rare. How can I accept it? Henry smiled warmly. Luna gave it to you because of her kind intentions. If you don't accept it, she will be hurt. What the actual? Luna wanted to swear. Was she that cheap? How could this man be so self-righteous? Luna could not bear to listen any longer. She finally opened her mouth to interrupt the two people who were immersed in their own world. Mia, do you want my golden-flamed black-winged tiger or not? When Mia heard Luna's question, she looked up at Luna expectantly. I do like it, but I can't have it. Luna could tell that Henry was waiting for Mia to accept the black tiger, as he had suggested. But with Luna as the original owner, how could he just ignore the past grudges and allow Mia to have a precious level 5 strange beast? Luna kept stroking the black tiger's head, making it impatient. It stretched out its front paws and grabbed Luna's wrist, pushing her out as if he wanted to play. Episode 3. Profound Beads. Toro had transformed into a golden-backed, black-winged tiger. He was not a real strange beast, and why was this woman constantly touching its head? Although this was a very comfortable feeling, he was not one of those strange beasts that would just walk up to someone without dignity if they touched him twice. The black tiger's entire body was not even as long as Luna's forearm. Pushing her on her wrist like this, it seemed like he was hugging Luna's arm playfully. Mia's eyes lit up, her eyes almost glued to the black tiger's body. Luna couldn't help but laugh, extending 2 fingers to gently pull the black tiger into her embrace. While it was facing upwards, her fingers gently scratched its chin. These little feline creatures usually like that, right? She thought to herself, Toro, you must have come to tease me because he was worried about my sadness. You are too awesome. Toro was not so sure. Teasing her? How was this possible? She wasn't the original Luna. Just by looking at the thick, murderous intent in her soul, one could tell that she wasn't the same as the original owner. How could she be sad over such a small matter? Even if she was sad, what did it have to do with him? Would he sacrifice his body and dignity for such a ridiculous thing? You're thinking too much, the black tiger replied coldly as it controlled its urge to get close to her and let her scratch its chin. Luna couldn't help but laugh when she heard his cold tone, yet at the same time saw how he was reaching up and allowing her to scratch his chin. Luna's pretty face, coupled with her bright smile, distracted Henry for a moment. Jealousy flashed in Mia's eyes. She shook Henry's hand and enviously said, "Henry, this little black tiger is really cute." Henry came back to his senses, pointed a finger at Luna and ordered, "Luna, bring the tiger over." Luna burst out laughing. This guy was so frickin' conceited. She did not look at Henry, but instead hugged the black tiger that had turned over and pretended to be asleep with its front paws covering its head. She said to Mia, "Speaking of which, Mia, you seem to have a crush on something that I have liked since I was young. When I was 6 years old, my father helped me become a little girl who knew how to fight on her own. You stood in my room for a whole afternoon and asked me to give something to you. I didn't say yes, and you cried all night in the yard. So my father had to make another one and ask me to give it to you. And then, when I was 10 years old, my mother made me a beautiful dress with many colorful layers in the skirt. You were so jealous, touching it over and over, and you refused to leave. But after I gave it to you, you cut it into rags. After the manifestation awakening ceremony at the age of 12, you begged me to take you to the Williams family treasury to select a pearl core. You saw the pearl core that I had fallen for and insisted that I must give it to you to claim for your own. When I was 14, you saw the trousseau my mother had accumulated for me, and you cried and said that your mother's dowry for you had been spent long ago. I gave much of mine before you would smile again." With Luna's words, Mia's face turned white, filled with innocence and sadness. She held Henry's hand tightly as she said, "But Luna, how can you say that?" Luna calmly continued, "So, I'm not surprised that you're interested in Henry. You have always liked what I liked, wanted what I wanted, had to have what I had. I've been used to it for so many years. I'll give the prince to you, sure," Mia replied haughtily. Luna replied, "Well, I can't give the golden-flamed, black-winged tiger to you." Luna's voice was still gentle, but she still made the two people in front of her change their expressions. Henry's face was completely dark. "Luna, how dare you speak like that to her?" He thought to himself, "What do you mean, giving him to Mia?" More importantly, Luna could give him to Mia, but she couldn't give Mia the golden-flamed, black-winged tiger? In Luna's heart, was he not as important as an animal? Mia hated Luna to the extreme, but she didn't show it on her face. Instead, she said softly, "Luna, when I was young and didn't know how to behave, I thought you were good to me and didn't care about these things. Who would have thought that you would remember it this way? I was wrong then, so I am ready to apologize to you. Please forgive me for being so young and ignorant." Luna looked at Mia silently for a full minute before responding. "Really? Younger? You are only 3 months younger than me." Mia was no longer embarrassed. She continued to smile gently, saying, "Luna, I don't want your black tiger. It's just that your profound bead is now destroyed, and the manifestation level has been completely lost. I mean, the level 5 strange beast is completely useless in your hands, so what use do you have of it?" Henry was shocked. His expression kept changing as he witnessed the conversation between Luna and Mia. "Luna, you really lost your profound bead?" Henry admitted to himself that he couldn't say that he loved Luna, but he wasn't without feelings. Back then, in order to gain Luna's heart, he had put in a lot of effort. From the moment Luna had taken a test and revealed her superior genius talent, he had tried his best to carve traces of himself into Luna's heart and guided her to fall in love with him. After all those years, Luna had been sincere to him, and he wasn't without emotions. If Luna's father, Oliver, hadn't died and the Williams family flourished, then even if Luna succeeded in her own manifestation, he wouldn't mind giving her the position of being the future queen. Even after the death of Oliver and his wife, he acquiesced in Mia's approach, but he was not a person who disliked new and old times. He had thought that after this turn of events, as long as Luna continued to be infatuated with him, he would still be willing at least to give her the position of concubine in the palace and protect her for the rest of her life. But if Luna had really lost her profound bead and became a cripple, even if Henry ascended the throne to become king, he still wouldn't be able to make her his concubine in the palace. A concubine who did not have a profound strength could not give birth to children with manifestation aptitude at all. Throughout history, in a confrontation against the four great families of the Shining Valley region, the royal Harper family was always at a disadvantage. If there were no outstanding descendants, then maybe 1 or 2 generations later, the Harper family would be submerged in the endless river of history. Unless he could be Prince Harry for the rest of his life, he didn't have to care about that. But he had plotted for so many years, and his mother had done so much for him. How could he give up just for a woman? Henry's mind worked quickly. Back then, he had chosen Luna to set up the marriage contract because of 2 things: General Williams's influence and Luna's high level of talent and genius that she had demonstrated since she was young. The former would give him enough support and bargaining power to give him a lead in the struggle for the throne, while the latter would greatly increase the chances of his children possessing higher aptitudes. Now that Luna's father was dead and she was a cripple with the profound bead, both of her advantages were gone. Fortunately, when the news of Oliver and his wife's death reached him, he immediately changed his attitude towards Mia and allowed her, who had been following him, to enter into an ambiguous position in his life. Henry tapped into his profound strength to sense the flow of the profound strength that may be present between Luna's brows. After confirming there was no flow to be sensed, his expression slowly turned serious. Perhaps the time had come to indicate his choice. Luna was still standing tall and straight. "That's right. My profound bead has already been sucked away." Her gaze fell on Mia. "Mia understands this point the best. Otherwise, how can you be so sure that I have lost all of my manifestation level?" Mia's face changed slightly, and she laughed heartily. "That's right. Who asked me to be so concerned about you? Naturally, I was the first to notice the changes that had occurred in my own sister." Henry had grown up in the palace, so he clearly heard the hidden meaning in their words. But for him, the most important thing right now was not how Luna's profound bead was lost, nor was it how Mia did it. What was important was that there was no longer any need to maintain his marriage contract with Luna. Mia, on the other hand, was now his best partner for marriage. Henry raised his chin, and with an unreadable expression, he said, "Luna, since you have already lost your manifestation level, why do you still need a level 5 strange beast?" Luna turned her head and looked coldly at Henry's handsome face. He continued, "Why aren't you offering your strange beast and begging Mia to spare your life? Otherwise, if you were to speak rudely to a manifester, it would already be enough for you to die." In the laws of the Hemogea continent, manifestors were respected. The distance between ordinary people and manifestors was even greater than the chasm between heaven and earth. In front of manifestors, ordinary people were like ants and dogs, simply unworthy of their attention. Even people from aristocratic families, between those who could manifest and those who could not, even if they were blood brothers and sisters, their fate and status were completely different. With Henry's attitude, it was obvious that he had put Luna, who had lost her profound bead, into the ranks of the ordinary people. As for Luna's possessions, including this strange beast, they could be taken away at any time. Mia nestled into Henry's embrace, her tender, cherry-red lips slightly curled up, revealing a proud smile. Ever since she was young, her genius elder cousin, who had been above her for her whole life, the genius who had concealed her brilliance, had been smacked down by the man she loved the most into the lowest layer. She thought of Luna, that for her to lose her father, her mother, her fiancé, her talent, everything that mattered to her was gone. This must be a painful feeling for Luna. Receiving Henry's order, the two guards approached Luna. "Ms. Williams, please hand over the golden-flamed black-winged tiger." Oh, so they were going to rob her of her black tiger? Luna smiled mockingly. "I've always been the only one to steal from others. No one else has ever stolen from me." Episode 4. The Truth. So, they really were going to try to rob her of her black tiger. Luna didn't even make a move, and the two guards who were closely approaching her instantly burst into flames. Terrifying howls sounded. The two firemen struggled to roll on the ground to put out the flames, but to no avail. "How dare you!" Henry's guard leader shouted, while sending people to use the water attribute of the profound bead to extinguish the fire. He also ordered a few capable men to go and take Luna down. The guards did not dare to act rashly and quickly activated their profound strength, summoning their weapons from mind to hand. With 2 blades and 2 swords, 4 guards pounced on Luna from all 4 directions. Luna stood proudly, and the 4 guards were once again on fire. It was too late to put out the fire. Now there were 6 fiery men wailing and writhing on the ground before they were instantly incinerated into ashes. With that, everyone looked at Luna in a different light. Originally, their gazes towards the general's daughter, the Williams family genius, were filled with respect. Then, when they found out that Luna had already become a cripple without the profound bead, their gazes had turned into looks of disdain. Now, this was something altogether different. Even manifestors who specialize in manifesting the fire attribute of the profound bead would not be able to silently burn someone to death like that. What method could Luna have possibly used? Mia and Henry were even more flabbergasted, unable to understand the scene in front of their eyes. "Luna, didn't you already lose your profound bead?" Mia was so shocked that she blurted out the question. "Now, Mia, don't you know whether or not I still have the profound bead?" Luna caressed the black tiger in her arms as she looked at the pale-faced Mia with a smile that was not a smile. Henry looked at Luna, who was standing tall and straight. Could it be that she did not lose her manifestation level? If that was the case, then what he had done just now had truly offended her. Not to mention the marriage contract. With Luna's talent and ruthlessness, once she matured in the future, it would be extremely disadvantageous for her. However, as far as he knew, Luna's profound bead was a blood-drinking spear. General Williams's daughter had also been trained in direct slaughter god spear techniques, not some fire attribute of a profound bead. Mia's eyes suddenly lit up. "It's the golden-flamed black-winged tiger, isn't it?" she said loudly. The more she thought about it, the more she felt that it was impossible for Luna to use her fire attribute, profound bead's abilities. Even if it was her first time absorbing a profound bead, and her techniques weren't proficient enough to be preserved by Luna's profound bead, Luna's profound bead wasn't with the fire attribute. On the other hand, the golden-flamed black-winged tiger could control fire. Maybe it was because the black tiger was protecting Luna that they took action against the 2 guards. The greed in Mia's eyes intensified. She stared straight at the black tiger and muttered to herself, "It's only at a young age, yet she already has such an ability. A level 5 strange beast is indeed extraordinary." Luna had no interest in wasting any more words with these 2. She turned and walked in the direction of the Williams family military camp. Henry and Mia were lost in their own thoughts, and the guards didn't dare to step forward again. They could only watch as Luna walked away. The military camps were not far off. They were undergoing joint exercises organized by the 4 major families, and the Royal Harper family. The goal was to train the young members of the families. The four great families, including General Williams's family, the Hanks family, the McNeil family, and Young family, all families at the highest levels of Alexander Empire. They had existed for thousands of years, had a long history and deep background, and were even older than the time the Alexander Empire had been established. The five families' campgrounds were arranged in a line at the base of Garnett Mountain, maintaining a safe and convenient distance from each other. The Williams family camp was an iron gray-colored military camp. From the original owner's memories, she knew that this military camp was actually formed by the profound bead of an elder who was leading the team. This kind of profound bead belongs to the auxiliary type, called orbs. Its most basic function was to provide them with a place to live or to store items within. Everything that had happened in this military camp could not be concealed from the eyes and ears of the owner of the orb, and the manifestation methods here were truly novel. 2 squads of 8 soldiers were standing in front of the main gate of the army camp. They were all clad in armor and had solemn expressions on their faces. Just by looking at their imposing manner, one could tell that they were all veterans who had seen blood and killed before. As soon as Luna walked to the gate, the 8 soldiers shouted in unison, "Greetings, Miss Williams." According to the original owner's attitude, Luna nodded slightly. With an inconspicuous smile, she walked in through the side door with large strides. As she walked through the gate, Luna felt as if she had passed through a transparent membrane. She also felt a chill on her body, as if she had been probed by some unknown force. Ah, yes, this should be the power that the owner of the orb, the Williams family elder, was controlling within the army camp. Recalling the attitude of the soldiers just now, Luna felt that their respect for her had come from the bottom of their heart. This meant that among the Williams family's private troops, the influence of Luna, the general's daughter and the manifestation genius, was not bad. After all, General Williams was the one who created a brigade of 3,000 soldiers that were the elites of the Williams family private army. At the higher levels of the Williams family, however, Luna's identity had already become more and more awkward because of her father's death and her uncle's position. Though from another point of view, the more influence Luna had in the Williams family private army, the more gifted Luna was in manifestation, and the more her uncle, General Jian, would not be able to tolerate her continuing to live. Who knows if Luna will be another General Williams after 10 or 20 years. At that time, even if General Jian was the Duke of Oakland, he wouldn't be able to withstand a single blow from Luna. Mia had attacked Luna not just because of Henry. It was also because of jealousy and the direct order of General Jian. Otherwise, how could a delicate girl like Mia, a teenager, obtain the evil art of absorbing other people's profound beads? One had to know that this was a forbidden technique that had been explicitly banned hundreds of years ago on the Himalaya continent. When Luna returned alive, Mia was not willing to accept defeat. She had to kill Luna before she could go back and explain things to General Jian. Mia was also General Jian's daughter, though she wasn't his most beloved daughter. On the contrary, what Jian liked best was his few concubines. If Mia wanted to obtain more influence, she must show her worth. With 3 days left of military exercises, this was Mia's last chance to strike, and Luna knew this. She thought about the current situation and was quite aware of all the issues at hand. Luna's tent was in the northeast corner of the camp, surrounded by the 12 tents where her attendants lived. With the exercises only being carried out by the soldiers of the Williams family, all the servants could do was to wait in the barracks. They could not go out without permission. Even in the barracks, the attendants were not allowed to move about freely. They could only move around in the territory of their masters. The moment Luna stepped into her own camp, she saw 4 attendants and 100 servants standing in a neat line, waiting. "Greetings, Miss Williams." Everyone knelt down on one knee, pressed their left hands to their chests, and respectfully paid their respects. "Rise." Luna spat out one word in an indifferent tone, just like she remembered the previous owner had done. All the attendants stood up at the same time. Luna's evaluation of the original owner had risen, and she was now more confident about her own plan. The 4 attendants signaled for everyone to disperse before following Luna into her tent. 2 males and 2 female attendants were devoted to the side branch of Williams' family. Some of them had descended from other families, and some directly descended from the Williams family. They were about the same age as Luna. They had grown up with her and studied with her. They knew her well. Ever since they had been chosen as Luna's attendants, their fates had been tightly tied to Luna's. The leader of the attendants was a woman in her 20s. Luna remembered that her name was Rain, and she was the one the original owner trusted the most. Another attendant, Yale, personally poured a cup of steaming hot tea and asked, "Miss Luna, what did you gain from this trial you have just been through?" She had always been the one who took note of everyone's feelings. What had she gotten? Could it be counted as a change of heart? Was it okay if the profound bead had been taken away? Seeing Luna's hand signal, her attendant, Lisa, opened up the isolation array formation within the tent with a stern expression. This way, even the master of the profound bead in the camp wouldn't be able to know what they had said and done. This was a portable privacy booth. Luna raised the black tiger in her hands and faced the 4 attendants. "Come, greet everyone." The black tiger rolled his eyes. Did this woman really treat him as a pet? Only the 4 attendants saw the golden-flamed, black-winged tiger in Luna's embrace. A level 5 strange beast was not easy to obtain, and only a dragon or phoenix, like their Miss Williams, could have such luck. "I have already formed a master-servant contract with it." Luna sat in the main seat and put down the black tiger. It jumped onto the back of Luna's chair, its tail raised high, its black eyes observing its surroundings. The arrangement of the tent was simple and generous, exquisite and exceptional, but there were not many female traces to be seen. The black tiger jumped and landed on the table, sniffing the tea in a special cup that had been placed for Luna. Although it was not the best tea, it still had the effect of nourishing the body and nurturing the spirit, and was considered first class on the Hemogea continent. It stuck out its tongue and slowly lapped up the tea. It had been a long time since he had tasted this kind of warmth. Luna saw the black tiger sitting on the table, sipping on her tea, and smiled. "I was ambushed by Mia during the military exercises. She sucked the profound bead and kicked me off the cliff." Luna calmly dropped a bomb. The 4 attendants were the people closest to Luna in this world. If they didn't understand it clearly, they would soon discover the abnormality of their master. Instead of making them suspect behind her back, or even shake their loyalty because of the subtle changes, it was better to just open it up bare, right then and there. The black tiger raised its eyes and looked at Luna, who remained expressionless. This woman's style was unexpectedly direct, so no wonder the weapon in her hand was a short blade when it first appeared. She must have been a brave warrior who dared to take risks and cut through all obstacles. Very good. He did not choose the wrong person. The 4 attendants were shocked to the core by Luna's words. Episode 5. Astonishing Truth. Luna's guard leader, Jaden, who had the strongest build and was the leader of Luna's guards, had the most violent temper. He immediately stomped his foot and shouted angrily, "That horrible woman Mia, I don't ever like her. Always coming to Miss Luna's place to take advantage of her. She really is a terrible person, and I'm going to kill her." A small, quiet male steward standing nearby was Will. He grabbed Jaden by the arm. "Don't be rash. Isn't Miss Luna okay?" Being sucked out of the profound bead and being kicked off the cliff, It was basically impossible for her to survive. But now, not only was Luna alive, she had a calm and confident expression on her face. She had even obtained a rare, 5th-level strange beast. Something unimaginable must have happened in the process. Perhaps this was her chance to break out of this predicament. The 2 female attendants' eyes were slightly red. Tears flowed down Ava's face. Mia had been chasing behind Luna since she was young, having been treated as her own little sister. If there was anything good, Luna would give it to her even if Mia did not want it. Ava remembered when Luna gave her chosen pearl core to Mia. Mia always tried to seem extremely intimate with Luna, while actually plotting against her in the military exercises. They even dared to absorb Luna's profound bead. Looking at the 4 attendants' faces filled with grief and indignation, Luna threw out another bomb. Mia said, "The deaths of father and mother were not an accident. It was General Xian's doing." What? Even the normally calm Jacob, another loyal guard, could not believe what he had just heard. General William's untimely death was the biggest regret in the entire Williams family. If he was still alive, the Williams family would become the strongest family in the Alexander Empire in less than 20 years. Last year, General Williams had an accident at the Thunder Mountain Conference. When the news of both husband and wife being killed was sent back to the Shining Valley region, all the family members and attendants of the Williams family cried bitterly. They had lost their family's hero, and the Alexander Empire had lost its great General Williams. However, it turned out to be General Xian's doing? How was this possible? General Xian was General Williams's half-brother, and that was why the dukedom had fallen to General Xian. Why did he want to harm his own brother? Just for the sake of the possibility of the throne of a kingdom? With his older brother, what could he get? What is the position of a duke in a country? Looking at the 4 attendants who had lost all their words and were frozen in place, Luna sneered. "I'm still alive, but I know that Mia and General Xian will not let me go." Will was the first to react. "Ms. Luna, these things must be kept a secret for the time being. We cannot leak it out." Of course, the 4 of them believed her, but others were different. Revealing the shocking truth when there was no evidence gave General Xian a chance to pick up on Luna and deal with her harshly or even fatally. Luna nodded. "Yes, so I only tell the 4 of you. You are my closest friends and my right-hand men. They will not let you go either. If I had not told you, you might have fallen into their trap at some point, if you're not wary of them." The 4 attendants nodded. They and their young mistress, Luna, were one and the same. Honor and life and death depended on each other. If anyone else wanted to deal with her, they would naturally not let them go. "I will arrange for all the attendants to be on high alert from today." Jaden's eyes were blazing with fire, but he still tried his best to speak calmly. "No, it's loose on the outside but tight on the inside," Will continued. "We can't let them know that we already know this." If General Xian became angry from embarrassment, he might as well throw caution to the wind and use the Williams family as private soldiers. They were not his opponents at all, and would instead put Luna in danger. "But Miss Luna, you are now... if you can't manifest..." Rain raised this problem with great difficulty. Even a former genius, if she became a cripple that couldn't manifest, her status in the family would plummet, and she would be no different from those of the lowest family members. How could such a proud young lady accept such humiliation? Luna could feel fire spirit power dancing around her. The fire spirit power in this world was thicker and more active than her original world. If that was the case, she would only be stronger than her evil uncle. What was there to fear? Seeing the confident smile on Luna's face, the 4 attendants said no more. "After I fell off the cliff, I had another fortuitous encounter." She reached out to stroke the black tiger that was lying on her knees. "Don't worry." She didn't need to elaborate any further. Now the 4 of them understood her. and there was a reasonable explanation for the difference between her and the original owner. That was why she had told these shocking truths so bluntly. The four attendants, Rain, Ava, Will, and Jaden, were the people who understood the original owner the best in this world. Although Luna had the original owner's memories, her personality, habits, hobbies, and so on were all different from the original owners. If Luna didn't say anything, it was very likely that they would find out within a day or two. It was because of their loyalty to the original owner. Once they found out that she wasn't the original owner, they would most likely take a hostile stance towards her. If that happened, Luna's last remaining power would disappear without a trace. General Jean might even use this to make a huge conflict and put her to death. However, when she explained to them in a